Hello everyone, welcome to another video of this revision series. Today we'll look for bilirubin metabolism. This is the single most important topic related to any further discussion of hepatobiliary system or hematology in medicine or pediatrics. So we all know RBCs have a normal lifespan of 120 days. After 120 days, old RBCs lose their flexibility and thereby they become stiff-walled. And these stiff-walled RBCs cannot pass through the splenic filter, so they are engulfed easily by the reticuloendothelial cells of the spleen. And after the lysis of RBC, they release hemoglobin. Also, sometimes inside the blood flow, RBCs are lysed to release hemoglobin. This intact hemoglobin is then carried out by haptoglobin into the reticuloendothelial cells. Sometimes also hemoglobin is splitted into heme part, and this heme is then carried out by hemopexin protein to the RE cells. Anyhow, in the RE cells, ultimately hemoglobin is splitted into heme and globin part, and this globin part add to the amino acid pool of our body, and the heme undergoes the following pathway. We all know from the hemoglobin structure that I have already discussed in a previous video that a single hemoglobin has 4 heme moiety, and each heme moiety has a tetrapyrrole structure and a related iron atom in between this tetrapyrrole. So heme will now split into iron and protoporphyrin. This iron will now go to the tissue to be stored as transferrin, and it will be transported by transferrin and will stored as ferritin. And the protoporphyrin is converted into biliverdin. This protoporphyrin is ring structure, so it will be converted into a linear structure by heme oxygenase. And this is the only step in body where carbon monoxide is liberated. So after biliverdin is produced, it is now reduced to bilirubin by biliverdin reductase, and this bilirubin is water insoluble. So to make it water soluble, albumin now binds with this bilirubin and they can easily now circulate in blood. And another advantage of this binding is that albumin bilirubin complex is too larger in size that it cannot pass through glomerular filter, and hence it is not excreted in urine. Anyhow, then it reaches liver. In the liver, this bilirubin has 3 fate. First, bilirubin uptake, then conjugation, and finally excretion. So the albumin bound bilirubin, that is called unconjugated bilirubin, is now taken up by the hepatocytes by ligandin mediated mechanisms. After the uptake, bilirubin is now conjugated to glucuronic acid by the UDP glucuronyl transferase enzyme, and the conjugated bilirubin, that is bilirubin diglucuronide, is now excreted in bile canaliculi, and finally they are excreted in the second part of duodenum by common biliary duct. Now bilirubin is converted to urobilinogen by intestinal flora present in the intestine. This urobilinogen has now 2 fate. A part of the urobilinogen is reabsorbed into the portal circulation, that is called enterohepatic circulation, and the rest of the urobilinogen now moves down to the large intestine. The part that is reabsorbed is now resecreted in biles once again and partly in the urine, because this conjugated bilirubin now can easily pass through glomerular filter. And on exposure to air, this urobilinogen, which is actually colorless, is now oxidized to urobilin, which imparts yellow color to the urine. The part that has moved down to the large intestine is now converted into the stercobilinogen by another group of flora present in the large intestine. And on exposure to air, this stercobilinogen, which is yellow in color, is now converted to stercobilin, which is brown in color and gives color to the stool. So if there are any alteration in this pathway, like in obstructive jaundice, bile is not excreted in the intestine. So no urobilinogen is produced and thereby no urobilinogen in urine. So urine will be colorless and no stercobilinogen is produced also. So stool will be pale colored or clay colored. Similarly, in hemolytic jaundice or prehepatic jaundice, the unconjugated bilirubin will be much higher than conjugated bilirubin because liver cannot handle more amount of bilirubin. So there will be unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia. And this topic jaundice is already discussed in a previous video, so please go and have a look. And this is all about bilirubin metabolism. If you like this video, please let me know in the comment section, and obviously your suggestions are required for betterment of this video series. Thank you guys for watching.